It was all based out of necessity. Same thing with the filming, same thing with everything. When you need something and you can't really depend on individuals, you got to be able to depend on yourself for sure.
I'm big boned. I'm heavy structured. I'm hung low. If I pull my shit out, this whole room get dark.
I'ma talk my shit. Fat finger, let me talk my shit. Damn right I'm gonna talk my shit. I.E. in this bitch law. Never resting on my laurels. The definition of a core when they stop questioning your morals.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is another dope, I always say that, but I do mean it, another dope episode of Talk Yo Shit.
Yeah.
Right? I've known this man a very long time. And I when I say a long time, I remember doing shows and thinking it was so dope that he was drumming and rapping. I said, how the fuck?
Oh, that's dope.
So,
That's dope.
and then just see that skill translate with the New Danger and coming across the same scene and seeing there's only so many lyricists that you'll hear me say that I really like rock with heavy. So when I say I rock with this man very heavy because he's dope lyrically, it's always like, to me, like energetic and infectious, because when you talk to him, it kind of makes you feel good in the process. And I really feel pride in him being here and being able to see and show to you all how dope he is as a person as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Lloyd Knox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
A man of many talents.
Yes, man of many talents. How are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful. How are you all doing?
We good.
I'm awake, so I've been awake since 5 a.m. I'm good.
Same here. I'm definitely on that dad schedule, at least since I work during that daytime. I'm definitely up by 5 making music or editing already by this point.
That's what's up. So when did you know that you wanted to do music?
I think I knew I wanted to do music when I was about 10 years old. I remember here, I was in Mexico visiting family, and they had a MTV, and I remember turning it on, and I heard Other Side by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And then I started hearing the instruments, and it started speaking to me so much. And that's when I started jumping into other types of music. And officially, it was because of Spodioti Dopalicious by Outkast. That song, it's my favorite song of all time. And when I heard it, I'm like, I want to do something like this that can affect other people the way that it affected me, especially at a young age. So I definitely, I think that's when it happened.
That's what's up.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's real tight.
It's a wonderful song too.
So when did you start drumming?
Oh gosh, I started drumming at the age of 23, I believe. 23. We were looking for guitarists. We were looking for drummers. We were looking for bass players. And for some reason, once we got the guitarist, it was so difficult to try and find the other members. So I picked up learning how to play bass because of the necessity. And it was the exact same reason why I picked up drumming, was because of the necessity of trying to depend on other individuals. And sometimes those people that you really depend on, life happens, you know?
Yeah.
So I decided to talk to my bandmate, Zach, and I'm like, yo, man, if we can get like a drum set, I'll learn. Like, I'll learn it as fast as I can. And that exact same weekend, he bought a $150 Pacific drum set. I came over to visit his house. He's like, hey, I'm going to work. I'll be gone for about 6 hours. So practice, and then we'll see what we could come up with and do. And he came back 6 hours, and we wrote a song called Elusive Butterfly and then a Modern Day Dillinger. So yeah, it was all based out of necessity. Same thing with the filming, same thing with everything. When you need something and you can't really depend on individuals, you got to be able to depend on yourself for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it, I'll do it myself.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be a common theme amongst our guests, is the fuck it DIY approach.
Definitely.
So on top of drumming, when did that hunger for an MC come along?
That came because I felt that growing up, my opinions or my experiences that I'd gone through weren't either being taken seriously by family, being able to try and tell like, hey, things are going on, and not being heard really affected me in a way that picking up a pen and writing my emotions out turned very therapeutic, and it turned into a necessity on being able to express myself in some sort of way, since no one was able to appreciate me vocally right there in front of them. I felt that picking up a pen and being able to write out my emotions would be the best way to try and make my voice heard, you know?
That's
All right.
interesting because it seems like all the best artists have a story similar to that. Like they don't feel heard or seen and they have to get it out some type of way.
Definitely. Yeah, I think being heard is a natural thing to want to have. And for those individuals that don't have that outlet, it definitely starts bubbling. And depending on the individual that you are, you can use it for a positive or a negative aspect. And
Mhm.
for most of us, we definitely use it for positive, and hopefully we could affect people in a positive way, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Facts.
definitely.
Facts. Since you already said this, and I caught it, so you are working on music, and when can we expect some music from you in the current future that I can listen to as I work and drive?
I have been working. I have been actually, I jumped back on music back in 2020. My wife, bless her, she's been pushing me to jump back on music. I originally left music because I wanted to focus 100% on family. And knowing the fact that, when we go out and perform, we're performing at 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. And, you got life, you got things to do, you got kids. And I realized that I wanted to put my full focus on my son, but I also realized that I wanted to have some sort of outlet, and that's how Hit Squad TV came to be. But going back to the music, I'm working on an instrumental album right now. I have 21 songs that I've created over the past few years, and I'm planning to release this at the beginning of 2025. I don't necessarily have a name for it yet, but it's really fun because I'm not rhyming on it. I am instead using a lot of vocals that I've heard throughout the years from different speeches about progression as a human being, trying to grow and do better and be better. I'm using a lot of those quotes and putting them on my instrumentals in hopes that, it could affect people. And I still am writing, and I do have a lot of songs set up ready vocally for that album too. But I think I just really enjoy the process of just creating, like just
I get it.
you know what it is,
I get
just
it.
being able to sit there in front of the one thing that you love to create and do, and you could just lose yourself in it for hours. And that's what happened with this album. And I have 21. I got to narrow it down to, I don't know, however many I need to narrow it down to. But it's been a blast being able to do music again. I feel like I'm doing justice to that 10-year-old kid that was like really lost and not knowing how to express themselves and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully I'm making that little kid proud.
It just made me think because when Personal was here, he was saying that he had to like have like 34 songs and then try to pick 10. It's like that's how hard that is as an artist or a creative to think I created all this work and now I got to figure out how to scale it down. Is whew, I don't wish that on people because it's a very hard because it's almost like each and every track is like a piece of you and you're like, hey, just strip that shit down to 10 tracks. Pick those best 10 tracks and tell us how like it's
It's true, and I kind of see it now as the way that I see photographers. Like photographers shoot anywhere between 40 to 5,000 photos, but they pick the absolute best to
mhm.
have that be its representation. And I feel that a lot of the music that I've definitely created on this album um, is great, but I feel that if I want to show who I truly am, I need to try and narrow it down to show that just try to narrow it down for myself to try and give it that energy that I feel that it deserves, as opposed to just trying to stuff everything in and hoping that people will listen to it, as opposed to like, that shit's all right. That shit's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
I'm
curious
excited to
about that.
hear it.
I
I mean,
appreciate it.
it feels like that's probably something we need right now, something positive
Mhm.
that we can vibe to. So you letting it out at an opportune time. So
Yeah. I was curious because I was like, I think I could do 21 songs of that. Like,
Yeah, I think I
but
could
I was like,
too.
all right, that is
I'm cool.
personal thing.
I'm
That's
cool with a
dope.
double album.
Now,
The
Awesome. I
deluxe.
appreciate the support, y'all. Thank
Yeah.
you.
so you touched on it briefly, but you transitioned into the world of roller derby with Hit Squad TV. What brought on that passion?
The way that came about was on December 12th, 2012. I was at Liam's Irish pub, and I remember right before going on stage, I heard a woman behind me say roller derby, and like it sparked something in my head. I was like, what the fuck is that? So I turn around, and it happened to be my soon to be wife. And I asked her what it was, and it sounded super interesting. I invited her to stay to watch our set, and she only stayed about halfway, and then she bounced. And I'm like, I like her. I like that. But yeah, after that, I was infatuated with her and eventually the sport that she loved. I didn't like it at first because of the way that it was being filmed and shown, which was at the time, a lot of the filming was shot from up above, and you don't really get to see the athlete's face, or you can't really connect with them. And I asked her, I'm like, isn't anybody like filming on the bottom? Anyone making any highlight reels or something like that? Because I grew up on WWF, WWE promo packages and ESPN highlight reels. And that was what brought my attention to roller derby in hopes that someone did something similar to that. And she says, well, if you have a problem with it, why don't you do it? And then, you know, about
He was
10
like,
years,
boom.
about 10 years later, we are where we are. And yeah, it definitely Hit Squad TV came out because of a necessity of me to continue to be creative. I was at home, I think, for the first 6 months after stopping making music, and I was driving myself crazy. I was working 6 days a week, 10-hour days just to keep myself occupied. And I had a son, so any other time after that, I was just using it for there. But by that point, I started getting burnt out, and my wife took me to a scrimmage, uh, and I saw people competing, and I was like, oh, I should probably bring a camera next time. And a few months later, that opportunity came out at a event called Thanks Scrimmage. And as I was walking out the door, I stopped and I turned around and I grabbed my GoPro. And the entire time I was trying to communicate with people like, hey, can I put this GoPro on you? They're like, nah. Like, nah, who are you? And I completely understand, like, who the hell is this man just walking around trying to ask people, you know? And I was fortunate enough that my wife knew people that they said okay, and we were able to put it on them. I took that footage and went to the computer that night, uploaded it, and I started editing, and I fell in love with it because editing music is so similar to editing video. It's about feeling, it's about emotion, it's about knowing when to cut in and cut out at the right times, knowing when your cadence of your speech is the exact same thing as your cadence of editing videos. It's the greatest feeling, and from there I just threw myself into it, and I enjoyed that because it was no longer just me. It was a family thing. So for the next 2-3 years, bringing my son with me and bringing my wife with me and seeing all of us three together was the most important thing for me, because um, I was building credibility with the community, showing that I'm not here to be a creepy ass person with a camera trying to take pictures, because there were so many people that was out there doing that type of stuff, being weird and creepy with the photos. And I wanted to show people that, you know, I'm a family person. I am about business. I am about making sure that whatever we're trying to do, we do that plus more. And I wanted to make people feel safe. And because of having that family with me and pushing forward, a lot of opportunities started popping up. We were able to start traveling to Nevada. We started going to Texas, and that's when things started blowing up a lot more. We recently went to France. In 2019, I went to Australia to teach videography. I recently came back from Hawaii, which is the reason why I'm wearing this jersey. Yes, which was one of the 6 teams that were competing at the Aloha Skate Invitational tournament. It was this really cool thing where you draft people and y'all compete against each other for 2 days to see who has the best pickup team. And yeah, that's That's a little bit of the history of Hit Squad.
That's what's up.
You can definitely like tell that you love what you do in your work. I've seen a lot of it. Your wife's as well, and you capture those women that are skating at like the best moment, and I love it. I love it. As someone who's seen it in person, like if someone had never been to a roller derby scrimmage, seeing your work will make them want to go.
Oh,
Like I
yes.
love it. You do an excellent job.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that's definitely what's happened over the years. It went from being a videographer to trying to figure out someone that's never seen it, how do we bring them in?
Mhm.
And I realized that it's not just the action, it's the emotion, it's the faces, it's the struggle, it's the pain that they're going through. If they're able to connect with you in that way, they'll follow you to the ends of the earth, or at least until you bore them. I don't know, one of them too. But yeah, it's really fun being able to work with these athletes and seeing how similar we all are. Like they're incredible. They've spent years doing their thing and their craft, but they're so quiet and they're so shy. And to try and get them out of their respective box to try and show their personality has been a very fun experience because I realize that we're all like that. Like I realize I'm still trying to get out of my own box, even though I feel like I'm very open about myself, but I still realize that I'm holding myself down a lot in terms of anything and everything.
They're not too quiet when they're in the heat of the moment.
No.
No,
Kind of
no.
locked in. You're like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, I think it's amazing to see them wake up and
Yeah.
start pointing and yelling and shit. Like it's amazing. That's what I want to be able to capture and follow. Like who's yelling, who's pointing, who did that?
They come alive for sure.
Definitely, I do feel that in the roller derby realm, they should definitely focus a lot on the attention of the audience because I love the NBA, the NFL, the way that they participate with a lot of the audience. Like during timeouts, they're doing something, whether it's a cam where they're showing people like they're chilling on their phone, but they do like a little weird, you know what I'm talking about? Like roller derby has a lot of growing up to do, and I'm hoping that for the next 10 years, I'll be able to help them try to promote and grow to where I feel that they can be, which is a mainstream sport. I really do believe that they have that power and they have the stars and athletes to do it. They just don't have the experience media wise. And I'm only one individual, and I'm doing what I can to try and help others be videographers. Like I was saying, I teach a lot now and try to pass my experience down to other people so that way they don't go through the same struggles that I went through and all that fun stuff.
So, what was your hardest thing about pursuing your passion and shooting the content for Hit Squad TV?
It's definitely leaving my family behind. When I started doing a lot of the traveling, I think I started bouncing 30 weekends out of the year. And the hardest thing was being able to be on the road and not having that connection. You start becoming lonely. You start looking at things differently. You were happy and go lucky. It's because you had a crew, you had a family. And then when I started venturing off on my own, because, my wife had work, my son had school. So I had to continue to push Hit Squad. And it became the loneliness. I started doing road trips across the United States, going all the way to Maryland, Pennsylvania, Florida, and doing those cross country trips became some of the most depressive things. Like you can imagine seeing this beautiful mountain sunrise, and you just sad as shit. You're like I have no one to share it with. Like we started this off as a group, and now I'm here by myself, and this stuff that we eat, and it doesn't taste as good. It doesn't savor as well as it used to, which is to say now I've enjoyed it a lot more because I started noticing that I wasn't taking care of myself emotionally, physically, mentally, and I started letting myself go, and I started trying to figure out that where that passion went. And as soon as I figured that passion back out, which was simply do it for fun, like I started doing shit for money in the terms of like I started giving my time out and all that, and it was a bad time. So I started trying to refigure myself out. And yeah, like I'm sure you all have experienced that type of stuff where you grind and at some point you stop and you're like, oh shit, I'm by myself.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
How did y'all deal with those type of experiences, if I could ask?
I use honestly as vices, trying to find things to break out of the norm. Because when you get, especially with the job, we have that, it gets into like a cycle. So you're grinding the whole time, but at the same token, you're like, man, I can't maintain this without being burnt out, and I don't want to be burnt out forever. So you start finding different things. Like I use music as much as I get the opportunity to create music. I fucking hyper fixate on, let me do this fucking quick freestyle and write these fucking bars just to fucking get it out, like get out of the norm, and it gives me like this weird high, and that keeps me like, I guess, regulated. But anyone else?
Yeah. I mean, you know me, I just go within. Whenever I'm like off balance or I feel like I feel alone, I go within. I'm very spiritual. I meditate about everything. So
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was doing that too. And then I realized, I think like I needed to refill that thing that I kept going inside to try and find. And I realized that I went in there so often that I never replenished it.
Mm.
And yeah, spirituality, trying to find reasons within myself. I started reading a lot of books of self-improvement, self-help, business. And I realized that my hunger for knowledge was one of those things that kind of pushed me and propelled me, because whatever I was learning, I would go apply it immediately. And that would make me happier, which was an endorphin hit. And the more I started doing these types of things, the happier and the better I started feeling. And now coming up in 2025, I'm very excited of where we're going, because I feel as an individual, I'm almost at another evolution stage, but I'm more excited to see the people that are around me continue winning.
Mm.
And I like yourselves, all of y'all. Like I just met you all recently today, and then I've known you for years. But I'm hoping that whatever y'all do in 2025, I could be a part of it and help and push. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
That's beautiful. Thank you.
yeah,
On this, I'm saying
Beautiful
it's,
energy.
it's very factual and truthful. That's one thing from knowing you, is you're a very positive person, and you push for uh progression and not bullshit. And that's why I feel like we see eye to eye on a lot of shit, going and seeing a lot of the politics, and we always understood. We kind of had a mutual understanding of things. So when he says that shit, I know he means it.
No, I do believe that, because like when you were talking about with roller derby, I'm like, you weren't talking about anything but advancing the sport off day one.
Yeah.
I was like, that's incredible to be like, I'm thinking outside of myself. This whole thing. Let's just advance it. I'm like, that speaks to who you are. So that's awesome.
And because you have that passion, I know you're gonna be the one to make it happen.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, we-
I appreciate that.
So he was
I
on,
would-
on the podcast.
I was just going to say, like in those times where I feel lonely, I just go back to family,
Yeah.
because that just means that I've disconnected to a point to where I'm starting to forget while I'm doing it.
Yes,
that.
and
So
that's
I go back
yeah,
to family.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
That's what I needed.
it's odd that I like golf. Like I like golfing, and I take the competitiveness out of it. Like I think that's good for me, and just doing the fun part of it. Like, as I'll go with my brother-in-law, and he loves. I'm trying to shoot a 90, and I'm like, I'm just trying not to lose my ball, dog. Like, and just that's like a good release to just. Like,
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. And some people forget that like being so competitive, like you forget the reason why you're doing it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I forgot why I was doing it, and just like you were stating
Yeah.
about family, that thing, being able to put my family back up in front and put my passion behind them, has made me turn almost a 180, with still doing a lot of work on myself, but I feel that I'm right back on the track where I'm supposed to be. Thank y'all for sharing, by the way.
I think the
Thank
only
you for asking.
the only issue about being competitive is sometimes if you let the competitiveness outweigh the fun of it.
No,
So
yeah.
now it's not fun
Yeah.
anymore. Now
Yeah.
I just want to show that I'm better than you. I'm not
Yeah.
having fun. So now I'm putting in too much effort. Or this used to be a relaxing thing to me. Now I'm putting in effort just to show I'm better than that. That's when I'm like, Now it's like you're taking the fun out of what you used to love. Because
Definitely,
that's why I'm like, that whole competing stuff, I stopped that shit a long time ago. I don't care. I'm here just to enjoy, however it
Except on
goes.
that COD.
Even on that, I'm just here to
fun,
enjoy.
yeah.
No, I just leave.
I looked the other day
I just leave.
and we were at the same level at some point,
Uh-huh.
and nigga, you shot past me so fast. I was like, is he level 3 prestige already?
I'm 4.
See?
Is this a video game?
Yeah. I play a lot of zombies though now.
I'm over here lost in the
Okay.
sauce.
All right. Back on
Yeah, let's get
All
back
right.
in.
So what advice would you give anyone pursuing the path that you took in Derby, and more importantly, just in entrepreneurship and music?
Always remember the reason why you're doing it, and keep your family and the things that are super important to you in the forefront. Don't allow work to just be that one thing, because work will move on without you. We are just a spoke on the wheel.
Facts.
If that spoke falls off, it's still rolling. So find out what your worth is for yourself, and make sure you keep your family and your vision of why you're doing it in front. And don't be afraid to allow your vision to evolve.
Right.
You know, I started saying that I just wanted to film because I wanted to have fun. And then eventually it evolved into I wanted to do it for these reasons. And now it evolved to, actually, it didn't even evolve. It devolved. But in a way, I guess it evolved. I just want to do it for fun. I want to do it for the art. I want to do it because I want to advance my camera skills into doing more cinematic stuff, and try to push my absolute limits on what my camera can do and what kind of stories we can tell.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's not a de-evolution at all.
No, not at
That's
all.
like, yeah.
Perfect. I
That's the
appreciate
next
that.
level.
Next
Yeah.
level, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's immersion.
So
Like, that's awesome.
I gotta ask this, and I'm gonna look over at Des after I ask this.
Uh-oh.
Oh God.
I'm not
already-
gonna look at you because I'm gonna
already
make you
know.
nervous. Go on.
Oh,
friend.
you know what?
Your top
Oh,
5
I got it. Go ahead.
dead or alive MCs.
I already know
I'm
what
gonna
this
just
is.
let them do it.
Yeah. Don't warn them.
Nope.
I ain't gonna say that, friend, but I just
Well, we know Outkast is
because
on
I
there.
already like you, friend, and come
Yeah.
on now.
Well,
If,
I mean,
if you
we
don't
know,
say a particular name, she's gonna
Who
feel
you got
away.
on here, friend? Let's go.
we know
All right.
Outkast is on there.
Yeah, in no particular order for sure.
Okay.
I have Nas.
Yeah.
I have Outkast as a whole.
Okay.
As a whole,
As both, as you know, the pause. Yes, my apologies.
Y'all get on my
Yes.
nerves.
I didn't
As
even
soon
catch
as he said it, I realized what I said. I'm like, oh well, here we are. All right, so Outkast, the group.
Okay.
Nas. I got Kendrick
Okay.
as a newer addition, especially during that Damn era. That's what really got me. I mean, To Pimp a Butterfly, but I have 3. I like Talib Kweli. He's always been one
Yeah,
of
me
those
too.
MCs that
That's dope.
that really pushed my me wanting to be more lyrical. It was just an amazing. And the final one is a group. It's Wu-Tang.
Oh, friend. Now, damn it,
Nah,
where was Tupac
He
at?
saved himself
Pac?
with Kweli. She was like, "No, okay."
Now, I do. Hey, because I live
knew-
quality fire.
Hey, I'll save him.
if you look
I
at,
say
if
he's
you,
the Tupac of the filming for.
if you
I can't be mad at you the way I be mad at everybody else because your list is so damn good. But
Appreciate
when
it.
you paid attention to his list, I knew off the rail. I said Tupac
Oh
ain't
yeah,
on his
Pac
list.
ain't on
no,
here.
I
He
knew
said
Tupac wasn't on there
Outkast, Nas,
either.
and women.
Yeah, he's done.
He ain't showing up.
When he said Talib Kweli, I knew Tupac wasn't coming next. However, your list was dope, so
I
I
wouldn't-
can't give you the hard time I give everybody else. But why not Tupac? Can you just tell me?
I
Sure.
understand. Go ahead.
No,
Answer the question.
all right. The reason why Tupac isn't on there is because Tupac has been on the top of my own list from when I was 10, when I was first introduced to him, all the way till about 25, 26. And when I had my son, I started rearranging music and I started seeing what it was affecting me the most. And out of all the music that I have on my playlist, Pac pops up every so often, but the people that really speak to me are those 5 groups and individuals that have helped become the individual that I am today.
I love that.
That was a
I
dope
can
answer.
respect
That was
that.
a dope answer.
Appreciate you.
I
Appreciate
love
y'all.
that.
It was evolution.
I've been listening to the
I
wrong
think I will.
Tupac for the past few days, though. It's been some angry pop.
He's our first stop. Just kidding.
I can't rock with Nas and Big Boy.
Well, I
can't.
knew when you heard Nas, he went.
You don't like Big Boy?
Big Boy can't rap.
What?
It's
Cooler than a polar bear's toenail? Come on, my man. Like, come on.
And then I heard Andre got nominated for a Grammy
flute?
here, right?
Yeah,
for
the
the
flute.
flute.
For that flute album.
Hey,
I
Hey,
haven't heard
hold
it.
on,
I'll
hold
be
on.
honest with you.
Hold on,
all
I
I'm
hear it.
saying
Hold
is
on,
that's
hold
a
on.
musical
You're not-
album.
I mean, the
That's
titles
blues.
alone.
You're not gonna play that Fruit album. That when
I've
you want
heard
to
it.
relax,
I've heard it.
Put it
I've
on.
heard It's a good
Just
meditation
read the
album.
title.
No, I'm not fronting on it. I'm
It
just
worked.
saying
I
that's dope.
passed.
That
It's
is.
a
You don't want to
Yes.
read the titles?
to name the songs. No,
He
we not.
might win because
Off the titles
I
alone.
can't. I'm with you, Maurice. I can't get down with Nas. I can't get with Nas.
Oh man,
You're going to make me read
that
these
sucks.
titles. I wasn't going to do it.
He said, "Quick made you look." I said,
Okay,
"Who?"
give me 5 of them. Go ahead.
Oh, there's some titles.
The slang word pussy rolls off the tongue with far better ease
Oh,
than proper
no.
word
These are real
vagina.
titles.
Do you agree?
I don't know.
That's the
the
whole
name.
title.
He wasn't asking a
I
question.
wasn't asking you a question. That's the title. That night in Hawaii, when I turned into a panther and started making these low register purring tones that I couldn't control, shit was wild.
That's where I want to get
That's
to
the
in
title.
life. Like where you're just like, hey, this is mine and this is what you get.
Bipolar disorder. So he said bipolar disorder.
Oh no.
Daughter wears a 3,000 shirt embroidered.
Oh man.
93
Now is that a $3,000 shirt?
till
or is that
infinity and Beyonce.
It's.
I swear I really wanted to make a rap album, but this literally is the way the wind blew me this time.
Oh.
That's the title.
And they hit. They hit though.
Now,
They hit though.
now Andre, the songs is cool, baby, but the titles gotta go.
The titles of what sold me. I was like, I like this shit.
Oh.
I don't care what nobody says.
shit.
Stacks can't do no wrong for me. He can't do no
Oh
wrong.
my God.
Anything he do, I'm messing with it. That's Stacks. I don't care. That's Stacks.
Oh shit. Okay.
That man carried a whole group for 20 years.
Yes. Oh, but I almost.
I mean, you just
I
go
fuck
play
with
Big Boy.
Okay. All right. I saw a post that you shared. I think it was yesterday or the day before,
Mhm.
and it said you were on the verge of walking away soon. As far as the
it-
content creation or the
it's refocusing myself. It went from the reason why I really lost myself, especially during that time, was because I started accepting a lot of work from athletes and organizations, and there was a time where I think I was 3-4 months behind on work because I started accepting so much that I realized that if I continue down this route, I'm going to put myself in a situation where I won't be able to get out of this hole. So the entire 2024 year was me trying to reconfigure myself and figure out where I'm going to take this hit squad thing. And I realized that I don't necessarily want to work with individuals to try and promote them. Instead, I need to promote the sport itself. So instead, I'm refocusing and putting all of my focus on our local leagues here in Southern California, as well as some of the selected leagues that I've worked with over the years, like in Dallas and Pennsylvania, Philly specifically. And I'm going to be working with them to create ads and to create just content for them based off of their athletes and off of their vision to try and bring more butts to the seats, because as much as they sacrifice their bodies out there, they're doing it for family and friends as opposed to paying customers and fans that are excited to be there and watch. So for the next 10 years, my job is to figure out how to get butts in seats and how do I do it with a camera. So that's what I am going into for the next couple years, and that's what the post was about.
for sure.
A lot of people were like, "Why are you leaving?
Yeah.
what do we
I had
do
to
to
get
you?"
clarification because I was like,
Yeah, no. Even my wife was like, "You were doing what? Like, why?" But I think she quickly changed her tone because she realized, like, every night that she would come in at home, I was like on the computer with my eyes really beady, like angry, like, "Oh, don't fucking talk to me. I've been on this computer for 12 hours and I can't finish this damn project." So I didn't want to be that angry, bitter human being sitting in front of a computer, and instead I want to be able to connect and help people. So Hit Squad University is another thing that we're working on, teaching videography, teaching how to promote yourself as an athlete, and more importantly, how to keep yourself protected in social media. Because as an athlete, you don't want to read some of the things that people are saying about you, and to protect yourself mentally and all that. I think being able to teach people would be, or at least showing them uh, different types of ways to navigate social media can be beneficial to athletes.
In the content game, period, you don't want to read comments because people will say shit just to say shit because they're not in the room with you.
Yeah.
You know, so you really have to have thick skin if you're gonna go through those comments. And I would say I support that because I said the other part about you stepping back, because I said for me personally in 2025, I'm no longer going to overcommit to things just to be nice. Like if I don't have the time or energy, or I don't feel like I can complete it, it just this ain't the time for it. I'm starting this whole journey of putting myself first, and it's kind of weird because for me personally, like my family has been such a large part of my like I've always put everybody, my family wise, put in front of me. So putting myself first has been kind of weird, but it's also been a little bit satisfying.
Therapeutic in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that you're doing that. You
Yeah.
just try to remind yourself that self first is never selfish.
Yeah.
I have to say that like constantly to myself to remember to be.
So you have
first.
bars too, do you?
I mean, I could do a little something,
It's just because what I've seen in the last couple like weeks of me doing this is like I've actually had more energy for them. Like the more I say no, the more I have energy for the yes. So when I do agree to something, now we can go all in on this because now I'll fill my cup, or like you were saying earlier, I've replenished myself on the inside. So now I got the energy in the space and opportunity to do.
Let me tell you what I love about y'all.
Kevin, I know Kevin, we're making faces.
He's over here so damn proud of you. He like,
I'm happy for him.
It's really nice to see you just real proud.
faces.
Like hell yeah.
But I'm
I
like,
love that.
my
about
shit's
y'all.
all fucked up. I got like a Tyler Perry movie running in my head.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
I'm gonna put myself first. Like, hell yeah.
But
I like it.
real before we get out of here, just I'll say plug your socials, your
Yeah, all that.
where they
Yeah.
can find you, and all the future things that you have in the works, and then I'll say what I have to say at the end. I'm gonna do it that way.
All right. You can find us on Facebook. You can type in Hit Squad TV. Same thing on Instagram, instagram.com, Hit Squad TV, TikTok, Hit Squad TV, YouTube, Hit Squad TV. Thank y'all so much for following us and rocking with us over the years. My main goal in social media was to hit 10,000 followers on Instagram. And then once I did, I'm like, what am I doing now? What's the next goal? So yeah, I'm super excited about the next goals that I have, which is try and grow with people in my local community to try and show them that they have a story worth telling. Because a lot of people think that their story isn't important enough or good enough to tell as bullshit. And I'm here to film that, and I'm here to show you that you are very worthy of telling your story because your story is going to affect somebody. And I'm here to make that happen. So let's make that happen.
You're more relatable than you think.
That's
Exactly.
I want to say that this is dope for me because Lloyd was the first one to actually give me an opportunity to speak because he did an interview with me, so it's kind of like full circle for me. And like he was one of the few people that got my sense of humor and would catch the little things that I would say in songs, like the Dave Chappelle references. So he was like, "You did that from Dave Chappelle, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did that." I was like, "You caught that? No one else caught that." So it's really dope to see it come full circle and to see how you've like evolved into this dope content creation thing, and you didn't let yourself be in this box of the circle jerk that is the rap scene. That you said, you know what, we can go past that, and I think it's beautiful to see. I appreciate you. I thank you for taking the time out to hang out with us and speak your mind, because I think the world needs to see how dope the mind is of you. And I really just thank you for being here, man. And
Yeah.
this is dope. This is like a full circle moment for me because I said I remember that interview, and I was like, "Now, no one's ever gave me an opportunity to have an interview like this before." So to be able to do that and give you your flowers, man, it means a lot, bro. So thank you.
It means the world to me. Thank you so much, bro.
Oh,
I
yeah,
couldn't lean, bro. I couldn't lean.
But
We're on the carpet.
I'm gonna say
Sorry.
this. I think you're like human sage. Like you're about to like.
Yeah, I agree.
I can see that.
The
I
aura
rock with
has
that.
changed.
I like that. I agree. You are very
I like
emotionally
that.
intelligent.
This
I
is
love
dope.
It.
I love seeing this. This is beautiful. Like, subscribe, share, comment.
All that.
This again has been Lloyd Knox. Talk your shit.
Yo, yay.
Till next time, we love you. Peace.
Yeah. This has been another episode of the Heavyweight Podcast, Talk Yo Shit. One thing about me, baby, I'm showing up every week to see who coming to talk their shit. Y'all better show up with me. See you there. Bye.